Okay, so I keep seeing this in the news over and over again, and I go to school, and we're actually gonna watch Greta Thunberg's talk, which I just find ridiculous. First of all, second of all, I've come across two articles. One is named "How to Talk Your Kids About Climate Change Without Giving Them Anxiety," and the other one is called "Climate Emergency Declared by 11,000 Scientists Worldwide Who Warn of catastrophic threat to humanity." Okay, so these two ones are very interesting. Let's go on the first one. It's not like as it's interesting, but it's not as funny as the other one, at least in my opinion. So it basically is telling about you shouldn't be telling your kids about that the Earth is going to die until they're 9 or 10. But apparently, as soon as they are, you can tell them. Also, it says that um, a lot a lot has been written about would-be parents who opt out of having kids to help the environment. Media outlets, including this one, assert again and again that millennials are not having babies because of climate change. Um, and I just find that really funny because babies, if you don't have babies, like that's not going to prevent climate change. Will Witt says that, but I'm pretty sure he just says it as a ruse or a joke, and it's not going to do anything. I don't think if someone's going to give birth, or if a woman's going to give birth to a baby, it's going to emit carbon for or per se. Um, but it just gives a whole bunch of bad advice, like don't avoid the issue, but try to avoid doom and gloom. Focus on small actions. Always be on the lookout for signs of anxiety. Oh, yeah. And in here it says teenage climate activist Greta Thunberg has spoken publicly about how she fell into a pretty deep depression when she was 11 years old, fueled in part by her fears over climate change, which I feel kind of stupid. I don't feel stupid. I mean, I feel that's kind of stupid to say because, yes, she could feel in a depression, but I mean, if she's like that, she should be doing something about it instead of saying, oh, it's bad. And she doesn't actually do anything about it. She says we're gonna die, but she doesn't actually say anything. People like Mr. Beast, he's planting 20 million trees and actually doing something about it. Someone asked her once when she was at another press conference, what is your message? She couldn't respond. Maybe it's because of her selective mutism or her autism ADHD. Well, no, it wouldn't be that, but maybe her selective mutism. But if you say something and you can't give an answer, doesn't that pretty much show that it was written by the left and they're manipulating her because she's mentally ill? But yeah, okay. On to the second one, the one that I really find interesting. Climate emergency declared by 11,000 scientists worldwide who warn of catastrophe. Again, I can't say this word. Catastrophic threat to humanity. So it says more than 11,000 scientists agree around the world and have signed a scientific paper declaring a climate emergency. Well, a few years ago, there was a paper that also prevailed that said 97% of scientists agree in climate change and things like that. But the only problem is that no, that never happened. 50% of the scientists mentioned something towards climate change, first of all, and second of all, they never mentioned of it having a catastrophic effect. None of them. So yeah, that was a flunked one. This one may also be flunked or something, but we're worrying all too much for nothing. Okay, it's really bad, and for the people who are worried about the plastic in the ocean and that, yeah, that's really bad as well, but we should be focusing on places like China to reduce their thing, and Africa. And even though some conservatives might not like me saying it, America, because they account for 10% of the plastic waste. Now, for the paper straw ban or the straw ban or plastic straw ban, no, I do not think that they should be banned whatsoever, but I think we should do something. It turns out Australia, all my Australian viewers or listeners, only account for 0.04% of the world's waste, according to the World Bank and the International something for data. But yeah, we really need to stop worrying, stop doing anything. And to all the protesters out there, you're saying stop climate change. What do you want to do? Okay, what are you trying to do? What do you want to be happen? Do you want the governments to shut down some massive companies? Because first of all, that wouldn't work. You'd have to go to the companies and that, because governments can't do something like that. And you're not even asking the governments. You're just going like, stop climate change. Oh, so you're going to protest to the world, and then the world say, okay, I'll stop climate change. No, it's not going to work. It's a terrible thing and a culture of fear that we're living in, and that should be classified in a way as child abuse. You're just setting up your kids for being terrified and petrified. It's a horrible and terrible thing.